All right, let's walk through a little timeline, shall we? That would have seemed completely insane just a short 4 years ago. Imagine if your son or daughter came back from a day of kindergarten, 5-year-olds, and they told you that they learned all about their teacher's nail polish today. Well, how would you feel? Not good, I'm guessing. Fast forward about 2 years, and your same child comes home raving about drag queen story hour that took place during recess of their second grade class. Instead of playing basketball or running around outside, your little kid sat in a circle and learned how to cross-dress from a man wearing eyeliner. 4 years later, your child starts middle school and comes home with a book from health class about how the many genders they can choose to have and how to do it. And they struggle with this information. They also start puberty and are now completely confused about what on earth is going on within their own bodies. Don't blink, because 6 years after that, your child settles in to a college campus and is preparing to study, lesbian dance theory at $120,000 a year degree pop. And finally, just after 4 years of that, your kid is a college graduate with no intellectual or social abilities whatsoever, but they know how to paint their freaking nails. In 4 whole years, they joined no clubs, played no sports, dyed their hair purple and blue. They never went out and left campus with very few friends. They spend weekends protesting on college campuses, screaming and yelling about social issues that they were told they were supposed to care about. They're making coffees at Starbucks. They're baristas because that's all they're qualified to do. And they're living in your basement rent-free. Your relationship is strained because for years, for many, many years, those educators, all the way from second grade all the way up through college, told them that you parents, you're the enemy. And now at age 22 years of age, your kid has to try and learn what's right from wrong, a skill that should have been taught way back in preschool, all while praying that the government will ultimately bail them out of their crippling student debt. Thank you very much, Joe Biden. Well, that's the modern education cycle of American education and a student. Pretty concerning, isn't it? American students were once the global gold standard. Our universities and curriculums were second to none during the COVID era. Our schools were allowed to make life-changing decisions for our children, like forcing them to mask up and sit 6 feet away from their peers. Nobody should be surprised about the spoiled, entitled youth that seemingly runs society today. They're a product of a failed system, and this trend will continue without major reform. And speaking of COVID, did anyone catch the bombshell cover of today's New York Post? Take a look at that. Researchers in the Defense Department and the FBI were reportedly, quote, silenced by, quote, spy chiefs after they found strong evidence that COVID started in a Chinese lab. Because, you know what? I don't know, we've been speaking about this for what, 5 years now? Of course. Their findings never made it to Biden's desk and could have easily have started as early as 2021. How and why would that be something that the American government would want to keep quiet about? And also, who the heck are these spy chiefs? Who are the spy chiefs that told the regular FBI and others to stand down on what they were finding? This is the American government, not some cartoon movie made for children. Why can't we know the names of these people? Why can't we see their faces? Why is there never an ounce of accountability for a single thing under Joe Biden? Republicans were right all along. Conservatives were right all along. Yet we were called conspiracists, or we were called radicals, or we were anti-science. We were killing the population. Of course, now the damage is done, and anyone with dirty hands has probably been pardoned by the big guy or about to be pardoned by Joe Biden. Joe Biden and his gang of political thugs should be tried as war criminals. So many people lost their lives. They led to one of the worst attacks on America that we will ever see, and it happened from our government, from within, from the inside. You want to talk about domestic terrorism? Joe Biden government, Dr. Fauci, flip-flop Fauci, all the Democrats, all these legislators, all the people who fired people because they weren't injected, those people created terror. They're terrorists on the American people. They should be tried. I want to hit one more of these insane headlines that left me scratching my head. The AP, Associated Press, the AP Female Athlete of the Year was announced. You know where we're going, right? You can see it coming. with WNBA sensation Caitlin Clark rightfully winning the award. Unfortunately for Clark, the honor will forever have an asterisk because all of the attention is on Imani Khalif, a woman, Imani Khalif, a woman with male chromosomes who somehow garnered a ton of votes, despite the obvious biological advantage. Khalif is somehow allowed to make a living beating up women in the boxing ring. If you don't remember Imani Khalif, Khalif was the Olympic boxer who was beating the shit out of women. He's a male. It's a dude. I really thought that once these freaks made it into combat sports, or certainly boxing, this unhealthy obsession would finally go away. Apparently, I was incorrect. This guy has seen opponents forfeit fights because of the force of his punches on women. He has a biological advantage over all the other women fighters that accept the challenge. I'm not sure what's worse here. The fact that this freak is allowed to punch women in the face for a living, or the fact that a handful of writers for the AP actually wanted to give that guy an award for beating up women. Khalif did not lose a single round on any scoreboard during the entire 2024 Olympics and was the most Googled athlete of the year in 2024. Just like the radicalization of our classrooms and the secrecy of our government, we're being told that everything is okay when it comes to this fighter's chromosomal advantage. My advice is simple here. Until Trump is back in office, believe the exact opposite of what every single thing the mainstream media and the government puts out and tells you. You'll find yourself in a much, much better place for doing so.